if anyone could really summarize it down to what a human body is doing all the time, is you are constantly adapting. Change is actually your friend. You've just got to figure out which changes are going to be healthy for you versus unhealthy for you.
I feel like I've been training my whole life for isolation and social distancing. Like I feel like, I don't know.
Yep, you and me both.
I wanted to talk to you about this because like I feel like some of us are basically like the world has kind of changed to suit us and suit our strengths a lot more so. And while a lot of other people are really struggling to kind of break the habits or kind of like break the cycles, there's a lot of different factors involved in that though.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you just want to jump right in. We'll get back to kind of like a personal story a bit later. But like, do you want to maybe give me some explanation as to why some of us, like me, are just really thriving in this period of time where we don't have to be as face to face connected, but and then some of us are struggling so much?
Yeah, absolutely. There's actually a lot of people that are biologically built to be in isolation and they will thrive in that environment, from not speaking to people as much to not physically being around people as much. Those factors in life will actually help people to calm. And there's actually certain times of day, it's called chronobiology and the study of our body's natural rhythms, and how your body will naturally want to interact with others throughout the day and how your mind will naturally want to interact with others throughout the day. It changes and it's a variable between all of us. For some people, like, I'm in isolation, now I can't talk to people as much. Okay, I need to get on Zoom. I need to get on Facebook. I'm going to come up with so many different ideas of how I can connect with people. Yeah. And then there's literally people like yourself and myself even that will love just this isolation time of, honestly, my life hasn't changed too much during this time. Basically, there's a lot of different things that are happening in your body all the time, all of these processes that are happening at the same time that are impacting who you are as a person and how you can show up to be in your everyday life.
I'm trying to rewind the clock. I met you about 5 years ago.
About that.
And you were kind of training, developing yourself for something which is kind of unique and unusual in its own right. Tell me about I'm just going to break the silence. How did you go from like Miss Universe contestant to essentially like Miss like ShaeWellness?
Great. I love that. Let's go with those titles.
I know that's pithy, right? That's like...
I love it. Well, that was actually a really interesting journey, because from the journey of Miss Universe and going into the finalists, and within a month or 2 months afterwards, I was in Bali and I actually met the founders of PA360 and Shae. And Miss Universe was a big turning point in my life. And then meeting these people were a big turning point in my life. Two really big momentous things that actually helped me to understand myself better. So that was a really interesting journey to go, I had health issues. I had problems with my skin. I had problems with my own self-esteem. I had problems in understanding who I was. And I was using which I now know, I have a really great analytical ability in my mind. However, I think a lot of women out there can understand this. If I use it to my own detriment and I use it against myself and to analyze, what's this skin doing and what's this hair doing, and coming from the modeling industry, that's what you're doing all the time. So that ability in my natural physical, my brain will do that in a high capacity. Doing that against myself was really detrimental to my health, and my body wasn't feeling it. I was feeling sore. I was not having great digestion, etc., not sleeping as well. And now I use my analytical brain towards something that I feel really passionate about and in alignment with, which is the health and the wellness and the holistic living. And that has actually helped me to help others using that analytical ability rather than just focusing on myself.
And even sort of prior to Miss Universe, you were, I guess, in the fitness industry, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, consider, I guess, kind of fitness versus wellness, right? Particularly in this particular chapter in life, where I don't know about you, but like I'm remarketed for every like fitness app, for every for every
what
kind
have you been googling?
for every well, like everyone else, I've been feeling pretty crusty with not being as physically active. And I guess my own sort of expectation that like I I have a kind of just a resting level of anxiety that like I need to go and pick up something heavy in the morning and lift it and basically get myself completely out of breath before I'm able to even start the day. As opposed to kind of like being that kind of target of clickbait where I'm like, okay, how am I going to like keep my gains during COVID-19? I guess how should I be approaching that? And how should we all be approaching that in terms of like, again, fitness versus wellness?
This is a tricky one to answer because it depends. It depends who you are, what you're doing, what your body needs, what your mind needs, what you've been doing in the last 3 months of your life. Your body is a new body, they say, every 90 days. Scientists have proven that there's a big turnover in your cells, for example. So what you'll find is that at the end of this time, coming out of that self-isolation, it will be a different body that you'll be experiencing. So maybe you say crusty, maybe you'll be an opportunity. It could be a really great opportunity right now to flex your muscles a little bit more in a stretching type way, to be able to make sure that you're not feeling as rigid, and to make sure that you do keep moving. I think this is a really great opportunity for a lot of us to find out how we can integrate practices in our life every single day, like just little tiny couple of moments here and there that will help us to feel well all the time. I think this period of time is giving a lot of people an opportunity to really look at what they need to be the best versions of themselves. Because during stressful times or during times of a lot of fear, which is what a lot of people are experiencing, it can bring out the worst in people. So if people can really focus on what is it that they need to be the best versions of themselves, then maybe we can actually have a lot more harmony and compassion actually out there in the world. It's a really interesting time to be able to look at what makes me feel good, what makes me feel well, and what have I been doing for other people my whole life?